Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today, as it's snowing and we're turning in for the day. And we're going to talk to, I forget her name, but we're going to talk to her just for one last time before we go to bed.
I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around.
She observes.
Like some kind of cross-country law official.
This place is kind of growing on me, you know?
Aye, but don't let it grow too much. This is not the place to settle down. Now, what's on your mind, officer?
Be seeing you. Oh, actually, I'm looking for someone else.
Oh? Who?
Oh, no. Yeah, I asked you already.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Nope, you can't. But there was a new line there. There was a new line. Now, let's go back, back. We've been in there.
It's getting late, and it's snowing. Time to call it a day.
Let's enter the shack. Are we going to be able to... No, we're not going to be able to look under the floorboards. What a weird thing. That he told me that I could, and then I couldn't. Or that I should, rather.
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and...
A rough soap. Mm-hmm.
An old mirror hangs on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. And now, let's read. Let's start with the important things. Our ledger. We got the photo. We got this. We got this. I can't do anything else with a apricot chewing gum wrapper, can I?
There it is again. The scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. Smells like the end of some distant summer. The surface of another planet, or some ancient temple.
I'm gonna take a deep, deep breath. I'm probably gonna faint and die, and that's it.
Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger, like a glow, with every breath you take. Until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupts behind your closed eyes. Made of toffee, cream, and distance. You just had to take a dive.
I have a new thought. Apricot chewing gum scented one. Because I'm living in the past, I got a -1 reaction speed. You have found a trace of entity who has, or of the entity, I assume, who has been stalking you across the plains. The Gloom Stalker, the conglomeration, the shadowy organization behind your downfall, possibly connected to the dreaded X something. Granted, it is impossible to determine its true identity, but you can remember where you first smelled its treachery. Yes, use the Tutti Frutti gum wrapper, reconstruct the day that you first breathed in her untrustworthy atoms. I think we have to do it, don't we? I think we have to do it. Let's spend a skill slot and internalize that thing. It's bad. It's bad stuff. Bad stuff coming up. And we might have to forget some of these. I kind of don't want to. There's some of them that are bad. I think there's one of them that well, this one I can forget, but not before I talk to Kim. Because I'm pretty sure there's a... Oh, look at the thing connecting to each other. That's kind of cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a text that allows... That basically I'm allowed to say or see once I have this thought. So we'll see about that.
Feels very, very familiar. Harry, please. You were supposed to discard it.
Ancient temple, you said. When did you say that? Distant summer. The surface of another planet, or some ancient temple.
Yes, from the height of antiquity. A long, long time ago. Millennia ago. On an island of time you can never return to.
End of summer.
The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For a moment, the world's store of precious metals seems to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There is a movement next to you. the shuffle of a small coat, warm like the evening. But when you turn toward it, there's nothing there.
Wait, come back.
Why are you talking to a gum wrapper?
I'm gonna put it away. Why am I indeed? Let's just make sure everything is done. So the tattoos here, there's nothing here. Then the yellow man mug.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
I want to get into that mug talk again.
But it will not happen. The mug talk is exhausted. It is time to return to work.
Thank you. Did I say yellow mug man? That's the owner of the yellow man mug. It's also a yellow mug. It's just, whatever. We also have the, no, that's not what I wanted to. The first thing I wanted to do. Tools, that's where it is. I'm the biggest tool in here. And it's the only tool that I can interact with, which is interesting. This should be duplicated, honestly. But I understand why it isn't. It's probably technical limitations. The Ledger of Failure and Hatred.
It's the ledger you found in the trash.
Let's read a case file.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
All of them, really. But I knew there was something missing here. The Square Bullet Hole Murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
But
that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
a sequence killer.
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next?
The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They looked really cool, like a rock band.
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
That's such a silly case. Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum-tum-tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Right, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Really cool.
Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died?
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
Ah, Stephen. And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
No, I can put the case files away. I'm gonna smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
I know. Sylvia already told me I dunked it in the toilet.
If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it?
The option to sniff was there, so...
So you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal.
Are you angry with me, Nose?
Yeah. Turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shit huffing. Quelle fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger is going back down, away from your nose now.
Okay, that's it for right now. So that was the ledger. And as far as I can tell, everything I can do with it is done. Then we have 16 days of coldest April. I believe I read this already. Let me just save the game here just in case it forces me to read it again.
You stare at the now familiar black and white rainbow. The book.
Yeah, I read that. And I think I was reading this as well, and we got a good read out of it. La Fumée.
The face of King Freecell smiles at you.
Mm-hmm. And then we have dried maybells. Did I do anything with them? We found them. Well, it's been a while since we found them. I think I have done. Obviously, we found them by Klaji.
6 crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown. Somewhere in central Jamrock, Lieutenant Kitsuragi steps into the public library. Rows of shelves pass on either side. You feel he should be here for this, for in-depth flower analysis.
Wow, that's really interesting. Let's put it over there. And then we have the evidence, the fractured bullet. That is a term for it.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp.
Let it be. And then we have the map of Martinez that I believe I have interacted with.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez.
And then we have a handwritten note from the fridge that I believe I also read. This was about the... Well, we will come back to this soon, but let's...
The note is written with a blue pencil on a...
It's fine. It's about the computer, I think, inside that whole place. And then we have the tape of the song that I got. I don't think I interacted with it.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click.
I did play it. Door Gunner Megamix. It supposedly holds a recording of the Mercenary Task Force radio communications recorded via a decryption station. Yeah. Why is it called like that? The Door Gunner Megamix. Anyway, a book, a primer for small kids. Of course.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, A Primer for Small Kids. There's a bear involved.
Exactly what I need.
This book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life.
Ooh, on what?
The alphabet.
Oh, I thought because of the... Sure, I'm gonna flick through the pages.
Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows.
Let's do this.
A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamite. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamut.
Wait, C is for cosine? I don't think that word exists. At least not written the way it is. Cosine... That's not a word. Is that a word? I have to look it up. But I know what cosine... If you tell me cosine, I know what it is. Well, I think I know what it is. Because it's the math thing. Where you have the sine and the cosine of a angle, I think. Or is it a triangle? I don't know. I'm not very... I always need to look up documentation anytime I need to do triangulation. But yeah, it's got to do with arithmetics, and it's not arithmetics. It's the other one, geography thing. Not geography, geometry. That's the other one. Yes. And it's COSINE rather than COSIGN. Anyway.
H is for homeboy. I is for econ. J is for Yura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion.
Oh, yeah.
Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for Wahrheit. X is for xylophone. Y is for Ustava. Z is for zenith.
Ustava with a Y. I can believe that. Rhododendron? I don't think I can. That's a flower, I believe it is. And I think I know what those are. We have a few of them here in Portugal. And that's it? That's all the letters?
That's it. You know the alphabet now.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then I have the book. The Man from Helmdal and the Devil Woman. The frontispiece.
The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Helmdal Man.
I'm gonna look at the back cover.
The jacket copy proclaims, Man from Helmdal returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, Noble Tyribald. Before Man from Helmdal can mount a rescue, he is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules supreme. Will Man from Helmdal be able to escape his dire situation and find his missing friend?
Probably yes. Also, she is a queen. Look at that. Time to flip through the book.
You open the book to a random page. Man from Heimdall, wielding his two Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms whirling like windmills are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38.
Oh shit. Gritty and heroic.
Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdalla tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Gatla howl out his name.
Give me more.
Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back. He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself?
Onward.
The steel muscles of Man from Heimdall gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home.
Holy shit, this is so me! And I'm gonna really get into the book.
A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence, wicked temptress. Son of Heimdall will never succumb to your seductive wiles. Thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will. Brothers of Heimdall, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife." Queen Lydiana just laughs, a sultry and salacious sound, then says, "I have grand plans for you, man from Heimdall." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions and unguents. "First, you shall please me. Then lead my armies against the vicious cannibals. Not a muscle moves in the face of the man from Heimdall. Yet inside, there is turmoil. This goes against all he holds sacrosanct."
Whoa, this is epic.
In the final pages, Man from Heimdall mounts Gallavarin, his mighty griffin, and turns his gaze to the horizon. Queen Lydiana is dead, but an army of cannibals is storming the gates, and still there's no word of trusty Tyribald. To find out what happens next, you'll have to pick up Man from Heimdall and the Three-Eyed Skull, available in fine bookstores everywhere. Spring 39.
I'm gonna put the book away. That is an adventure. That is quite an adventure. I don't think we... I don't know where it was going, to be honest. And then we have the Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity, another Dick Mullen book that woefully misrepresents the nature of police work. In this one, our detective returns from a trip having successfully solved one case, only to embark on another. Does he finally face the taxing nature of his occupation? No, he doesn't even look like a normal officer of the law, rather. He does look... That is a cool cover, though. I would love to have a book with that cover. Honestly, I would have to. Would love to have a book, and I wouldn't love to have that book over there. But any of the other covers, I would like. Not this one. This one is weird. That's not a book either, but still. Yeah, this one is just creepy as hell. But that looks cool.
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
Let's examine the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, "Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen." That seems to sum up the premise nicely.
I wonder if he's going to have to fake his death. But we're going to have to find out in the next episode, because for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.